And if I can just be frank with you,
Sure.
it's the Word of God that's going to change their lives,
Sure.
to be honest with you. It's what changed my life. I was such as those that you see on the streets. And until someone shared the good news with me, and I started using it and applying it to my everyday life, I didn't see a change either. My parents taking me to witch doctors and everything to try to get me off of drugs, and none of it helped. It was only until I surrendered to the plan that was presented to me through the teachings every day, through the accountability every day, through the Word of God that they were sharing with me every day. And then after they saw that I was strong enough, they sent me back out on the streets to go back out and reach my brothers and sisters. And that's what I'm doing today. But it's the housing and the community and the relationship is what's going to help to restore people's lives. Because without the relationship part of it, you won't see it.
Right. So part of your program then would be, I would assume, hey, we want to see you here on Sunday as we worship together. Clothing for job interviews, helping them get job interviews. Do you help them find a place at least to get their backs off the ground? Like, what does it look like?
I use the Denver Rescue Mission right now.
Okay.
And I have a great relationship with them. And actually, they use me to screen the ones. And they actually give them their first month's rent and deposit, family housing program.
Oh, okay.
But they use me to screen those that are on the streets. And the ones that I deem wanting to change, I put them in the program there at the Denver Rescue Mission, the family housing program. And they stay there for a year. Well, there's accountability there. There's family there. Always know where to go back and reach them at. Whereas to on the streets, I'll go there 1 week, they're there, and the next week they're gone. So there's no accountability in that. So the main thing is to get them in some stable housing where you can always reach them to go back to hold them accountable. And that's why we're trying to acquire this 6-bedroom house, Ray and I, where we can call it a victory home, where we would have them to live there in the house, and we'll have a house manager there. And we'll run them through the same thing that I ran through in Fort Worth, Texas, called the Victory Home. And through that, and we'll make them part of the community of the church as well, where there's family there. And then we start trusting them with little assignments where there's no one never trusted them before. You'd be surprised of just giving someone something to do and trusting them with something. You know, just about, a month ago, I had a 14-year-old girl pass by the church with a little baby on her shoulders. I thought it was her sister. It was her child. And she needed diapers. So now we got the situation where babies are even having babies. And we've reached out to her, and we've been since working with her as well because she was put out of her mom's house. But we got her in some housing now, and she's doing just fine now.
Great.
But it started with stopping her, establishing a relationship with her, getting her to trust you and who you are, to where you can start speaking into her life and showing her that there's someone that really cares about them.
Yeah, that's outstanding. What about you, Pastor Paul, as far as some other ways, in addition to models like they have at the Worship Center, Main Street's Worship Center, your experience of some other ways that work? Like, for example, if we were saying this video to churches to say, hey, how could you partner with our friends here on helping address this problem? What would be a program you could bring in, you could help them bring into their church or whatever, however that looks. What are some other things you've seen work?
I'm going to go back to the relationship and the trust building that Pastor mentioned. If there's a level of trust, if there's some kind of relationship, there's a reason for people to enter in to a new life. And that new life means I'm going to help somebody else out. So the invitation, and we've tried this, sharing a meal together, hey, we're going to be back next Saturday. You want to come help serve? So attacking the issue of mental health directly by inviting people to give back. There's two things that make a difference in people's lives: gratitude and the ability to give back. And people experiencing homelessness are no different than the rest of us. They're human beings. They need compassion, they need love, and they need relationship.